السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Indeed, all praises to Allah. We praise Him, we thank Him, and we seek forgiveness from Him from the evil of our own souls and our bad deeds. Whomever Allah guides will never be led astray, and whoever Allah leaves astray, none can guide. And I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. He is one and has no partners. And I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is His final messenger and His worshipper. Indeed, the best speech is the speech of Allah, the Quran, and the best example and guidance is the example and guidance of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. وَإِنَّ الْخَيْرِ أُمُورِ عَوَازِمُهَا وَشَرُّ الْأُمُورِ مُحْدَثَاتُهَا وَكُلُّ مُحْدَثَةٍ بِدْعَةٍ وَكُلُّ بِدْعَةٍ ضَلَالَةٍ وَكُلُّ ضَلَالَةٍ فِي النَّارِ. And the worst of matters are those which are innovated by the people, and every innovative matter is a transgression, and every transgression will lead us astray, and everything which will lead us astray will eventually lead us to the fire. Na'udhu billah. قال الله تعالى في القرآن, Allah says in the Quran, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اتَّقُوا اللَّهَ حَقَّ تُقَاتِهِ وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. O you who believe, be conscious of Allah, fear Allah, and worship Him the way He deserves to be worshipped, and do not die except as Muslims. وقال, and He says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَقُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا يُصْلِحْ لَكُمْ أَعْمَالَكُمْ وَيَغْفِرْ لَكُمْ ذُنُوبَكُمْ وَمَنْ يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ فَقَدْ فَازَ فَوْزًا عَظِيمًا. O you who believe, be conscious of Allah, fear Allah, and speak good words, speak words of justice, speak the truth. He will then amend for you all your deeds, forgive you all your sins, and whoever obeys Allah and His Messenger has certainly attained a perpetual everlasting reward. رَبِّ اشْرَحْ لِي صَدْرِي وَيَسِّرْ لِي أَمْرِي وَاحْلُلْ عُقْدَةً مِنْ لِسَانِي يَفْقَهُوا قَوْلِي. Dear brothers and sisters, a few years ago I got a call from a young brother, a reluctant call from a young brother at the insistence of his father. I was expecting his call, I just didn't know when he was going to call me. And I remember this day as clear as yesterday, because I was at the park pushing my youngest daughter, and my older daughter was riding her bicycle, and I get this call from this brother. And we start talking, and when I ask him, usually I get calls from young Muslims on issues, troubles. And so when I asked him, what's up? Like, what made you call me? And he tells me, I'm calling you because my dad wants me to call you. And I was like, so what's going on? So he's like, listen, I am a Muslim because my parents want me to be a Muslim. I'm a Muslim because my parents want me to identify as a Muslim. I don't think Islam is the right religion. I don't accept it. I don't understand it. But because my parents want me to talk to you, I'm calling you. So what do you want to talk about? So that conversation lasted 2 hours. I was in the park. My kids are playing. I'm completely in this conversation for 2 hours. A lot of back and forth, a lot of breaking down simple aqidah concepts. And the idea, the goal of that conversation was to get a follow-up. Alhamdulillah, I got the follow-up, and then we went on, the relationships proceeded. And we exchanged a lot of resources. Alhamdulillah, invited him to my halaqats, he joined. And alhamdulillah, 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 he accepted Islam. He started praying, he started fasting. Last year he went to i'tikaf. Alhamdulillah, that kid, that boy, that young boy, who, by the way, when he called me a few years ago, was in his second years of masters at a post-secondary education, raised as a Muslim. He, alhamdulillah, found help. A few months ago, I get a call from a sister, a mother. And this mother, you can hear the distress in her voice. I mean, you can't hear the tears, but you can see how hurt she is. She calls me and she tells me that I got your number from the masjid, and my youngest son is lost. And I ask her, sister, what do you mean your youngest son is lost? And he's like, he's 25 years old, but he's so infused in these heavy drugs that all he does is he wakes up, finds ways to get access to these drugs, and then just spends the whole day. He can't even remember his name. He's been terminated from his work. He is helpless, like he is completely lost. I'm begging you to help me. This is a mother crying for help. Alhamdulillah, we were able to get that boy, and we met him with him. We're getting him help for his addiction. Of course, we're working on his tarbiyah. I can give you dozens and dozens and dozens of stories. Wallahi, statistically, alhamdulillah, I see a lot of youth in the masjid. For every Muhammad who's a boy in the masjid today, and every Aisha who's a girl, sister in the masjid today, there is a Muhammad and Aisha. I'm talking about statistically published by Yaqeen for North America and for IRSS for Canada in 2022. Go Google IRSS, Muslim Youth Stats, and you're going to find the publication. Statistically, for every Muhammad and Aisha in the masjid right now, there is a Muhammad and Aisha outside of the masjid who has either left Islam or who is contemplating leaving Islam. This is real. These are real facts. Alhamdulillah, maybe you have been insulated and isolated in your bubble and you haven't been exposed to the realities outside, but if you want real life example of this, just go to the infamous Ridgeway Plaza at the time of Salah. Just go there at the time of Salah and look at the behavior at the time of Salah. Look at the musallis in the masjid at MNN and the musalla in the plaza, and look at the youth. Look at the hooligans. Look at their behavior. These are our boys and girls. These are my brothers and sisters. These are our kids. Windows are down, music is blasting, flirting is going on, embarrassment they are embarrassing us as a collective. That plaza is known to be a Muslim plaza. But look at the output which is coming out of that plaza. So the statistics are real. You can Google it or you can go and see live demonstration any day of the week in Mississauga. For our sisters. Wallahi, I'm standing in the masjid, I'm giving a khutbah, so I cannot go into the details. I cannot be explicit here. But I'll just give you a hint. For our sisters, for those parents who have daughters, for those brothers who have sisters, the problem is so complicated for our sisters. There are monsters out there who are targeting our young girls, our young sisters, with Gucci purses, with handbags, with shoes, with gifts, and luring them into doing the most vile things you can think of. Sakina, the charity, Sakina Homes, the founder, Sister Jaina Chaudhry, has a publication. You can Google this on what's happening with our Muslim sisters in the Rexdale community, Etobicoke, Brampton, Toronto, and how the rate at which this crime is going up. These are our girls, our sisters, young sisters, almost into prostitution. The problem is real. The problem, I can give you, me personally, I can give you dozens of stories about families I've been speaking to on a continual basis. And of course, every single person who's doing any sort of youth work or youth tower work can tell you their versions of the stories. The problem is real. But now what? So what do we do about this? What's your role and my role when we know that in the year 2024, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed you and I, and He's given us a comfort, He's given us a job, He's given us a family, He's given us free time. He's given us free time. And there is a problem outside of the community. The youth is struggling. They are struggling to find their ways. What do you and I need to do? And more importantly, what is the root cause of this problem? Where is this problem stemming up from? In all the conversations I've had, and all the discussions I've had with the community leaders, one unanimous conclusion we get to is that the number one problem for our youth is their identity. That we as parents and community leaders have done a horrible job in teaching them how to represent themselves as Muslim Canadians. We keep on telling them that you're a Canadian Muslim. There is a difference. You're a Muslim first, then you can be whatever you want to call yourself. Canadian, Pakistani, Egyptian, Palestinian, whatever it is. But you are a Muslim first. That philosophy switch, that mental switch has to happen today. We got to raise our kids from a young age and constantly tell them to forget about any of your ancestral chain. You are a Muslim. We're the followers of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. That's where it started from. And everything you want to learn goes back to Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. What did he do? What did the Sahabas do? What does the Quran and the Sunnah teach us? That's where it starts from. Do not look at me, your Abi, or your Ummi. Do not look at us as role models. Your role model is Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. You start from there. We are going to be making mistakes. We got to have that honest conversation with our kids. We are planting the seed of confusion in our kids' heads. When we tell them that our Islam teaches us not to listen to music or watch non-mahram women and we're watching movies in front of them and listening to music, where do you think they're getting this complete dichotomy here? Like, hey, yeah, Islam is teaching me not to listen to music and not watch shows, but my parents are doing it. So maybe I can bend the rules here a bit. That's where it starts. Islam teaches us not to lie, but I've seen my parents lie. Islam teaches me not to hug a non-mahram, but I've seen my dad shake hands with a non-mahram. Islam teaches me to lower the gaze, but I haven't seen my family members lowering their gaze. So on, I can give you examples. The seed of confusion starts from home. We got to remember this, and we got to identify that there is a problem. I've got children under my responsibility. Allah is going to hold me accountable. What can I do to make sure that I'm not the root cause of that problem? Of course, with all the other examples they give you, there's many other root causes. For example, broken homes, not having enough affection from the parents to the children, not having open lines of communication between the children and the parents. There's lots of problems, but if I were to identify one to today's khutbah, it's the identity. We got to give them the true identity. We got to tell them that, hey, listen, you're a Muslim first. Everything and of course with that comes accountability. We gotta teach them that hey, listen, there's justice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We see oppression in this world, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's adl is gonna be complete on the day of judgment. We gotta teach them these concepts, and then they're gonna get more confident about their Islam. They're gonna get more confident about their identity. I'm gonna give you one more example, then we're gonna get into solutions. Every year we take about 130 to 150 kids, boys and girls, for camp. For 4 days, we take them very far. We purposely take them to an area where there's no network coverage. So they have no access to phones. Their phones were not going to work. They have no data, no Wi-Fi, nothing. So they are with us for 4 days. And it's a tarbiyah. Obviously, we do some fun, but we focus a lot on tarbiyah. A few years ago, at the end of camp, about 4 years ago, at the end of camp, on the last day of camp when we were getting ready to leave, I saw 2 boys. So I struck a conversation with them. And I was like, hey, listen, next week is going to be the last weekend before school starts. What are your plans? And these 2 boys are from Oakville. So they tell me, Brother Hassan, we're invited at a school party. We're celebrating getting back to school. So I asked them, obviously the conversation was long, but the part I want to get to, I asked them, what food are you going to have at this party? And they tell me, we're going to have cheese pizza and vegetarian pizza. So I asked them, what are you going to tell the host? Why are you not having pepperoni pizza or bacon pizza? So they're stunned, they're shocked that I asked them this question. But after some hesitation, they tell me that we're gonna, one of them says, we're gonna tell them we're not eating it for humanitarian reasons. The other one says animal cruelty, social reasons. They'll give me any excuse under the tree. But they're not gonna tell me that they're not eating bacon pizza because their Islam teaches them to not eat pork. So I asked them, I was like, why can't you tell them that your Islam teaches you not to eat pork? That you can't eat bacon? They're like, no, we cannot do that. Why? Well, listen, if my peer group knows that I'm a practicing Muslim, I'm going to be isolated. They're going to make fun of us. I was like, what? Like, don't you have Christians in your class? Don't you have Jews in your class? Don't you have Hindus and Sikhs? Like, why do you need to be shy for accepting that you're a Muslim and, your religion has certain boundaries? No. The Christians aren't Christians, Brother Hassan. They don't believe in God. The Jews aren't Jews. The Sikhs don't wear their turbans. The Hindus aren't eating vegetarian. They've all kind of morphed into this agnostic, atheistic ritual. We don't talk about God, Brother Hassan. It's a very taboo topic. If anyone talks about God, he gets made fun of. People think that he's really, really backward. Brothers and sisters, our youth is ashamed to just talk about God, let alone that they believe in an organized way of worshiping that God. Let alone that they believe in Allah who's asking them to stick to the halal and stay away from the haram and pray 5 times a day. Our youth is so far removed from where they need to be. You see, there's a command in the Quran which is repeated at least 9 times. It's such a strongly worded command in the Quran that reputable scholars, ulama, have said that had it not been for the hadith of Jibreel alayhi salam, where the Jibreel alayhi salam clarifies with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam the 5 pillars of Islam and the 6 pillars of faith, had it not been for the hadith, had there been a 6th pillar of Islam, then that would have been Amr bil Ma'ruf wa Nahy anil Munkar. Because that command, if you're reading Quran from the front, from Baqarah onwards, has been repeated at least 9 times in the Meccan surahs. It's been repeated every 2nd, 3rd page. Command others to do good and forbid others to do evil. That is how Islam got to your ancestors, ya ikhwan. That's how Islam got to our forefathers, and we inherited Islam. If our ancestors did not understand Amr bil Ma'ruf wa Nahy anil Munkar and Juhud fi Sabilillah, do you think we would have been Muslims? So our kids need to be there, but they are where? They can't even accept that they're Muslims. They're shy to admit that they're following Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's where they are. And I assure you this, that on Yawm al-Qiyamah, Allah is going to ask you and me. Allah is going to ask you and me. He's going to ask you. In 2024, I put you in Canada. You got to hear a lecture on the struggles of the youth in the masjid. I gave you free time. What did you do about that? That question is going to be asked. And we have to start answering that question for ourselves, that we have our bloodline, our brothers and sisters outside struggling. If they, na'udhu billah, die on anything else but Islam, there's no hope. Right? We pray for everyone's husnul khatimah, like we pray that everyone has a good end. But this is the one thing which we always need to worry about. So the question is going to be asked from me and you, and we got to start preparing for the answer. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروا إنه الغفور الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. Surely Allah and His angels bless the prophets. To all you who believe, give Him beautiful divine salutations. Dear brothers and sisters, the struggles of the youth are real, and the question is going to be asked of you and me, what do we do about them? So today I'm going to give you a 5-step action plan, which we need to make sure that we take care of this first, and then inshallah we're going to talk about the second phase of this. The first thing is the ayah in the Quran is قُوا أَنفُسِكُمْ وَأَهْلِكُمْ نَارًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teaches us that you have to save yourself and then your family from the fire first. The first thing we need to do is that in our access, in our reach, whatever kids, youth we have, our children, our nieces and nephews, our grandchildren, our neighbors' children, whatever access to children we have, we got to protect them first. And then the first step for that is to recognize that the problem exists. Recognize that the society out there is very, very anti-religious. Forget about even anti-Islam. That's a whole new level altogether. But just recognize that it's very anti-religious. They don't want you to be a selfless person. They don't want you to pray. They don't want you to believe in accountability. They want you to believe in YOLO. You only live once. Party it out. That's the concept our kids are being taught. Right? So you have to recognize that the problem exists. Once you recognize that the problem exists, you got to start having an active dialogue with your children on a continual basis. On a continual basis, you got to start, just not your children, but the children within your reach. You got to start that dialogue on a continual basis. What does that mean? You see, I've got young children. And in Christmas time, in the December holidays, I'm giving you some examples here just so that I can get you guys to start thinking how it works. On Christmas time, my children will ask me, Baba, why can't we not decorate our homes as beautifully, or our trees and our outside of our home as beautifully as our neighbors have? There are two ways to answer that question. You can dismiss that question by saying that they're Christians, we're Muslims, we don't do that, we're going to decorate on Eid. That's a dismissive answer. That's you telling your child that you're too dumb to understand what I'm trying to tell you. So don't ask me this question. And that's it. That's going to be a horrible end, because guess what? When they're older, they're going to have other questions. Baba, why can't I talk to a boy? They're not going to ask you because my dad is very dismissive. The second way to answer that question, and you're going to be surprised. I've got a 7 and a 5 and a newborn. You're going to be surprised. The second way to answer the question is, daughter, they identify as Christians. They're thinking they're doing the right thing by celebrating Isa alayhi salam or Jesus' birthday on December 25, but they're wrong. Get them to be inquisitive. Why are they wrong? First, this is a pagan, a very, disliked tradition even in their scriptures. Baba, they as Christians aren't supposed to, they are not supposed to do this, binti, son and daughter. They're not supposed to do this. The Christians who are decorating the Christmas trees are bad Christians. Get your children to that level so that they feel, they feel remorse. They feel like, oh man, they're bad Christians, Baba. They're bad Christians. Get them to that level. When you guys are driving, when we're driving, and people have their windows down and music is blasting, and the kids are like, Baba, what's that noise? Don't tell them that that's music, and we don't do that, and tell them, daughter, so I call them betis or beta, say astaghfirullah and make dua for them. They're doing something completely haram. They shouldn't be doing that. Say astaghfirullah. Make them feel disgusted that someone else is doing something disgusted, so that they know at a young age that listening to music is so disgusting. When they grow up, they don't even come close to it. Like we were disgusted when alcohol used to be mentioned when we were kids. We don't come close to it, alhamdulillah. Bring it to that level. Get levels of shields in front of them, so that shaitan has trouble piercing through all of that. That responsibility lies with you, my brothers and sisters. That responsibility lies with you. So recognize that problem is there, and actively have dialogues with them. At a young age, do not dismiss them. And then number 3, very important, wallah, evaluate their suhbah, evaluate their companionship. The hadith of the perfume seller and the blacksmith applies to all of us. If their suhbah, if their companionship, if their friends, their close friends, are people with good akhlaq, are good boys and girls, you have vetted them. You have gotten to know them properly. You have invited them to your homes and you've served dinner and you've seen their behaviors. And you have signed off on their companionship. Then you've done a big part, because they are going to inherit a perfume seller. If you hang out with the perfume seller, you start smelling good. You want them to take on good akhlaq. When it's time for salah, one is reminding the other to pray in jama'ah. All their sisters are covered modestly. And so on and so forth. You want them to be with kids who have good akhlaq, but that responsibility to vet their companionship is yours. Do not let them hang out with blacksmiths and get dirt on their clothes, because if they're hanging out with people who are involved in all sort of fahisha, music and vain talk and bad habits, then guess what? Either they're going to feel isolated or they're going to start picking up those habits, and that's going to be a downhill path. And then parents are going to come to community leaders at, when the kids are 22, 25 years old, and the one thing we're going to be like, hey, he picked this habit from his kids, his friends. Where were you at the age of 15, 16 when his friend was misguiding him? Where were you? Do not let that happen. Number 4, make it an active part of your lifestyle from today, that you're going to continuously work on improving yourself first. Make it the part of your DNA. That the Hassan today is going to be better than the Hassan yesterday. And the Hassan tomorrow is going to be better than the Hassan today. This should be an active part of your family's lifestyle. The father is going to halaqah. The mother is going to halaqah. Then guess what? The children are seeing that my parents have been going to the weekly halaqahs or the weekly Quran lessons with their Quran teachers on a weekly basis. This is what I got to do. This is part of our family's DNA. This is part of our ethos. We got to continue to go to the halaqahs. They're going to grow up in that environment. The apple is not going to fall far from the tree in most cases. Make that part of your lifestyle. And lastly, make dua. Of course, at the end of the day, everything happens from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Guidance will come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have a lot of examples in the Quran about Musa alayhi salam being raised in the house of Fir'aun, and Yusuf alayhi salam and his brother Binyamin and his stepbrothers who were the children of Yaqub alayhi salam. The difference there. So the guidance is going to come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and so on and so forth. So make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The one dua from the Quran is رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّاتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ وَاجْعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا. Memorize it and read it again and again, again and again. Read it again and again. Oh Allah, gift us children, progeny, which are coolness to our eyes, and they're so good that they become leaders of the pious people. Read this dua again and again. Because at the end of the day, the hidayah is going to come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, once you have taken care of these 5 steps, you've taken care of your nest, right? You've taken care of recognizing the problem, starting the dialogue, evaluating the suhbah, working on yourself and your family, and then of course continue to make dua. What next? So alhamdulillah, our nest is protected. We have insulated our companionship and we're taking care of this. What about the problem out there? What about the brothers and sisters who are struggling, young brothers and sisters who are struggling? Who's going to work on that? It's your responsibility, ikhwan. Your responsibility, our responsibility as a collective to continue to do something for those people who are struggling out there. Start with your local masjid. Every single local masjid has a youth halaqah. Al-Falah has it. All the masajids in Mississauga, ICCM, all of them have Friday halaqahs, youth programming. Bring youth in your network to the masjid. Start getting them here. Find ways to incentivize them. Work with the masjid administrators. Attend their halaqahs. Support them. Volunteer with them. Help these programs grow. At the end of the day, these programs are only going to flourish when we start showing up to those programs. When our kids come there and then they bring their friends, be like, yeah, we love playing basketball al-Falah. Let's go play basketball al-Falah. Make sure al-Falah basketball program has a tarbiyah component to it. And build on that. But the initiative needs to be yours. And you need to start supporting them. But if you have even done that, then there's one thing which every single one of us should be doing is we should be financially supporting these programs. Because at the end of the day, these programs need help, financial help. There's a cost to these. The same camp I spoke about earlier, which we do every year, where about 130 to 150 kids come. We're going to go to that camp again next weekend, inshallah. We have MAC youth volunteers today at every single door. We have sisters at the sisters' door and brothers at the brothers' door. Please donate, whatever you can. The cost for these camps have become very cost prohibitive. They're now north of $300. And we have families out there who want to send their children to these camps, but they aren't able to afford it. So we need your help to subsidize their entry costs. And wallahi, this is going to be sadaqah jariyah for you. The khair which comes out of this camp is unimaginable. I'll give you one example. We have a box of questions. We leave a box in our cafeteria throughout the camp. And we allow children to write anonymous questions in that box. And then twice during the camp, we have mashayikh and advisors answering those questions. But the kids don't know, we don't know which kid asked the question, because any time during the day, they can write a question and put in those boxes. Well, I've been going to this camp for over 10 years. 10 years ago, we used to get simple questions. Can we listen to music? Can I talk to, a boy will be like, can I talk to a girl with the intention of getting married to her? These simple, basic questions. Over the last few years, wallahi, the questions have gotten so complicated that the sanctity of the place I'm standing on right now does not permit me to regurgitate those questions. Muslim brothers and sisters coming to camp and asking questions, if I were to tell you these questions, you cannot imagine that our kids have these kind of confusions in their brains. The importance of these camps cannot be underestimated. So please do your best to support these camps, inshallah. This will count as sadaqah jariyah for you and your family. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He makes me and you among those He's happy with. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He keeps us away from those who He's angry with. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He makes a future progeny better than us. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He makes a future progeny the coolness of our eyes. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He makes a future progeny the leaders of the righteous. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He unites us all in Jannah on the Day of Judgment. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gives us all and our children husnul khatimah, the good, beautiful end. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا. ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته الذين من قبلنا. ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به. واعف عنا يا عفو واغفر لنا يا غفار وارحمنا يا رحمن. أنت مولانا يا رب، أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين في كل مكان يا رب. اللهم انصر الإسلام المسلمين في فلسطين، في غزة، في الكشمير، في السودان، في كل مكان يا رب. انصرهم وثبت ضامهم واصبرهم يا رب. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين وأقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
Brother Mehboob, Brother Asim, give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Please fill the musalla in the masjid. There's a lot of spots, it seems. Brothers in the gym, please come to the masjid inside, musalla inside. Jazakallah khair. Straighten yourselves, don't leave any space. Pray as if this is your last prayer. Allahu Akbar. Bismillah. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي. سبحان ربي. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفر إنه كان توابا. الله أكبر. سبحان الله. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان الله. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سبحان الله. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. حياك الله. So just a reminder for everyone leaving, please don't forget to donate at the outside for the MAC Youth volunteers for Camp Awakening. Your donations are going to help subsidize camp costs, and it's going to count as sadaqah jariyah for you, inshallah. Other announcements, every Sunday right after Maghrib, Al-Falah Islamic Center presents Islam and Critical Thinking by Dr. Nazir Khan, so please ensure you attend that program. ICNA Fest is on Saturday, August 17th. There will be lots of activities for children. Please join the program with your friends and relatives. Entrance gate will be closed today from Asr till tomorrow, Aisha, and due to the ICNA Fest. Please use the exit gate for entrance and exit. Number 3, the family halaqa tonight at Al-Falah Islamic Center's topic is Nation Builders, the stories of the prophets. Speaker is Sheikh Riyad Uzazi. And lastly, lots of books are displayed outside from Al-Falah School. Please buy as many as possible to support the school. Each of the book is just $1. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.